Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you guys? All good? Good morning, Ziad. Really? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, from my side at least. Yes, Yegane, you want to say something? Or it's by mistake? Okay, cool. Okay, guys, so today, hope you are all doing great. I'm also doing great while I see you. Today, the topic will be personality, which will be including an important day. Why? It has personal assessment. So, sorry, self-assessment. So you are going to again assess your own personality, probably in the middle of the courses, after we see what personality exactly is, what are the determinant of personality is personality can change during the time, is how the personality, what are the approaches to personality. So we're going to see those sort of items. And then we're going to have a TED talk at the same time, probably again at the end of the class. So I will skip this TED talk currently to keep it for the end of the classes. So we're going to discuss about which color are we again about the personality way. Okay, so let's start slowly. So as we all know, the personality is actually something distinct about ourselves, so that can make us differentiate from the others. Even though we might share the similar personality trait, but it doesn't mean that, of course, we are the same. So we all know this explanation, but we have to explain it. So it's the pattern of characteristic thought, feeling, and behavior. Do you see that? Thoughts, feeling, and behavior. So, and from another to another, which persist over time and the situation. Okay, so here again, we have seen many different keywords. I always tells you, whatever you're going to see, any explanation, try to catch up the main keywords here. Thoughts, feeling, behavior. Persist, distinguish. We get that. For personality, we have 5 keywords currently to explain the personality. We know it persists, but it doesn't mean that we cannot change it. Actually, we will have one more course about very related to personality in stress management course, and there we're going to see actually also the how, especially when we were child, is in between which ages exactly the personality also can be settled. Let's say. So today we will be talking more about the determinant of the personality and the connection between personality and our job choices selection. Okay, so that's actually agenda. Okay. As I said, personality determinant. What's heredity, by the way? Have you ever heard this terminology before? Heredity. What is it? Heredity must be connected to something about genetic, maybe? Is it? Is it right? Okay, it is. The passing on a physical, mental characteristic from one generation? Yes, one generation to the other, right? Okay, cool. So when we are saying the heredity, we know that it is genetic. So, okay, now we have another keyword. Remember, I go back again. Emotion, thought, behavior, persist, distinguish, right? Distinctive or persist. We take persist here, and now we add another keyword just next to persist, which is heredity. So what I'm trying to say here, since it is persistent because it might be connected with our genetics, which means it's passing through generation to the generation. So that might be the reason of being persistent. Or that might giving us a clue about how our personality combine with how our personality become. Okay, so heredity is one of the key aspects which determines our personality. Okay, we have that one in our pocket now. What it says: factor determines as a conception, physical stature, like facial attractiveness, the gender, like the reflexes, like energy level, like biorhythm, like even impulsivity, for example. I actually didn't really know it. The impulsivity, I know that impulsivity is, for example, very connected to the personality trait, but I didn't know it actually transfer through genetic. Impressive. Um, so those are related with our genetic again, and they are long standing. They are, I mean, they are enduring at the same time, since this is transferring through genetics, right? So this is hereditary approach argues that genes are the source of personality, because how do we understand, how we prove that idea is about the twin study. Probably you also know it, these sort of studies. There are many research about the twins. So they send one twins to another country, and especially the adopted children, they make this test on them. So one of them grown up in United States, one of them grown up in, let's say, in Turkey, in their very, in, let's say, in their babies. And after many years, when they try to analyze their personality, they find a lot of commonalities between them, even though they are grown up in different environments. But another concept I want to remind you now. Do you remember our iceberg in culture class? Iceberg, like a triangle. On down, we had human nature. Second step, we had culture. Third one, we had personality. Remember again, down part, human nature, which is inherited. When it's come to culture, learned. When it is come to the personality, it has become what? It has become what? Iceberg. Remember from our culture class. 3 level. Human nature, culture, personality. No? Don't remember? Does personality learn according to this chart? Human nature is inherited. Culture is learned and inherited. Sorry. Culture is learned. Personality on top of it is what? Learn or inherited?
Probably
Hello?
learn.
Sorry?
Probably learn.
Yes. What else? Question to you guys. Does personality can be learned or inherited? Hadi bakalım. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Amit, Rita, Jamal, Mohammed. Thank you. Yes, Raghav, Farsa, all of you. Yes, thank you very much. Again, what did you write? I think it's a wrong mistake, right? Or if it's in different language. It's 50-50, Mariam said. At young age, it's inherited. Afterward, it's developed by you. Yes, yes, Mohammed. By you mean what? Good point. By you mean what? How are you going to develop my personal? No, I understand. I understand, Mohammed. Of course, my person himself or herself. But how? How I'm developing my personality? How I'm making good? Again, I like those keywords that you are writing, guys. Ahmed, choices. How do I make choices? Affect my choices.
It's
Daily
shaped by the
habits.
culture, maybe?
Of course, culture. Culture. Daily habits. Yes, Ahmed, true. Environment. Exactly, Mariam. Thank you. Uh, and by the environment you grow up. Exactly. Surrounding Hamra. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. So we have culture. We have surrounding. Surrounding include all of them actually, right? Culture, family, uh, the environment that we've grown up, friends, relatives, like whatever it is. So culture is actually a very biggest word, which help us to develop, settle, create, adopt our personality, right? Okay, cool. Now we are coming. There's a personality change over long time periods. Okay, does personality can change?
This is the question, or is it a statement?
Yeah, that's a question. Can personality change?
Yes, it can. It should,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, I should, right? Yes, yeah, of course, it can change. But it is very enduring, not really easy to change it. Uh, let's see how does it change. Now, okay, thank you guys for helping me. Nature of personality. Personality reflect individual differences. Of course, unique combination of inner characters. That's the explanation of it when we just did it at the beginning of the thought, feeling, behavior. Distinction, persistent. Okay. Heredity. Now, we add another keyword, which is heredity. Nature of personality, again, biologically and environmentally influenced. So this is the combination of environmental plus biological. Here you see that genetics play a role in personality because it's like temperament, yeah, impulsivity, emotional reactivity is connected with our biology. I don't know how, but that really influenced me. I didn't know really impulsivity is related with our could be related with our genetics, but yeah, I think so. I think I agree with that also. Like yeah, I don't know if any of you would say I'm very impulsive here, and I know I also in my family this person is also very impulsive. Like if you have those sort of cases in your life also, you might be also understanding. I mean might be sharing the same thought. Environmental factors. Another one, experiences, who bring up, with whom we grown up, especially in young ages, right? Between 0 to 3 is very crucial, both for brain development plus for personality. As I told you, in stress management course, we will develop brain. We will dive into the brain. I will let you know them. So we will discuss it more. But here, we should know that currently, bringing culture, social relationships, shape personality, allowing for learned behaviors and attitudes that mold personality over time. Okay, this is I already said. Consistent and enduring. Child has been impulsive from the day. This is what I was saying. The mother mentioned the child has been impulsive from the day he was born. So and you might know it maybe from your own experience. I don't know if you're a family, the one who bring you up, might be saying the similar things. You were same when you were born. Like one aspect, for example, you were very stubborn when you were born. You were very, I don't know, something, some sort of adjective might be still the same also in you, for example. Do you have that? And do a reflection. By the way, whatever I say, please try to think of yourself, okay? Because here the idea is the self-awareness. Try to think about it, like what kind of personality traits you have, for example, which is you believe is very enduring and it didn't change it. Can you share with me if any of you can tell me? So I will have idea as well. Also, this is your most enduring aspect of your personality, you think?
Maybe, for example, hyperactive or super calm, like passive or active. Like some kids are super active, some are mostly calm, and yeah, it can be changed. But the thing is that, for example, siblings or even twins can be super different at this point.
Yeah. I'm trying to say yes. This is definitely it is whatever you said. I'm trying to also understand in your everybody now think yourself, okay? So do you think if you have anything, any personality trait that you can tell me, like I was born, like even when I was child, like 2, 3 years old, my family was keep saying that you were like this and you are still exactly the same, like being stubborn. I just give an example, being hyperactive, being calm, being emotional, being, I don't know, like this sort of thing. Can you tell me anything like this? Summer, sleepy. Even you born, you were sleepy.
Yeah,
I
but
was
Joe,
told that I was
I
super
wouldn't.
calm.
Yeah, sorry. I
Sorry.
was told that I didn't cry. I was sleeping. They tried to wake me up.
Oh, so are you still sleeping?
Yeah, I'm super sleepy.
Okay, funny. Thank you. Dara, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. My internet connection was a little bit slow. I was saying that I I was told a lot that I was super calm and even a little bit too emotionally cold, probably.
Okay.
And this is the thing that it's still with me. So yeah, maybe something like this.
Okay, you're now still super calm then, are you?
Yes, I am probably. It's like I even was called Wednesday because of that, because I was a little bit too calm, like a little bit emotionally cold,
Okay.
probably.
Okay, understandable. Always, Kristen, always crying. I'm sorry, Kristen. Sorry, just because just to hear it, it is like always crying. Okay, thank you guys. Like, I want to hear your reflection. That's why I asked this question. Okay, let's keep it. Personality can change, we know it, but especially personality can change by major life events. Like, I don't know, also you might see in your life, and you might see some people when they have a very, like something, birth of a child, or especially I see it with the who lost someone in their life, like death of a loved one, they really change it. Their personality very much changes that I couldn't even like, wow, like that much. So personal tragedies like an accident, health problem, divorce, significant career promotion. So those sort of things might be the major life events changes. In fact, personality changes can also be part of much, of course. That's what we can see easily, right, in our life. Maturity process. Women personality in general has been changing faster according to research results. Job segment versus, okay, here. Job segment versus personality. So, HR. Why HR need to know or understand the personality of the other parties. So we will see here some jobs segment, and we're going to see the impact of knowing the personality traits. Like, by understanding personality traits, HR can better assess candidates' potential for job satisfaction and productivity. Not for every HR, but for HR department, they try to hire at least one psychologist. It's not mandatory, but they are willing to hire someone from psychology backgrounds. So since they believe, because psychologists would also be able to determine the personality closely, that's why they want to hire someone. It is very important also when you apply for a job, they do a very like a long, extensive personality trait survey. So today we're going to have one of them. But the one the companies use, some of them they create their own personality like surveys. I've had once in my life, like a very long one. If I'm not wrong, I answered like 400 questions. It takes like an hour. So if I'm not wrong, yeah, something like this. So this is very for them, for the companies, it's a very important thing actually. Sales. So for sales department, personality knowledge enables them to adjust communication style based on customer traits. So yes, actually. So when I say HR department, they do this assessment. For example, if they want to, if you apply for a job for sales, they want to see some this not this thing, but at least they want to see some commonalities. Because for sales department, definitely your persuasiveness skills, your communication skills, your being like social skills also, definitely like sympathy also, definitely it will be affecting your sales performance, for example. So for those sort of job, actually they are looking for someone who is more having carrying those sort of personality. On the other hand, for accountants, as an accountant, finance department, they look for someone more, I don't want to say introverted, but they might see someone who is more like we will have like a personality trait today here. Want to see more like a blue color. Blue color mean, I will show you, okay? Please remind me. We will have 4 colors, different colors for personalities. So I will show you the blue one. So they are more like want to prefer to hire someone which is in blue color. But please, guys, these are not like a certain things. If you are extrovert, it doesn't mean that you can't be accountant. But these are just job fit, let's say, job personality fit. And according to these researchers at the same time. And it is quite actually affecting your performance, your personality type versus your job preferences. And marketers cannot change consumer personalities to meet their product, but understanding which specific characteristic bring in required responses. Like this is about also the customization. The designer do the same thing, by the way. If the marketer company decide what is your target consumer for your product, like for example, I'll give you one. Again, let's go with the textile industry. Your art trying to produce very diverse segments of product, but one of the product that you want to produce is more like shiny, colorful, very lively, and so marginal, I don't know, however you call. So those sort of styling, okay, clothes, styling they created. And for those, their segment target group is more about the personality I'm talking about, more I would say social, more too much maybe extroverted, like very energetic, you know. So this is actually, while they are trying to create that they actually targets population, is those sort of personality people. Okay, so this is how they try to assess these procedures through personality. Like teachers, for teachers, knowing that, but this is not exactly for university lecturers. This is because it's a bit different. But especially for teachers in the young ages, if they have, especially a small amount of people, so it is very important for teacher to know the personality of the students, so the teacher can adjust her approach accordingly. Product designer, yeah, this is like a similar approach with the marketing. This is what they do. For example, analytical personalities may prefer more control and customization in interfaces, while spontaneous user might appreciate simplicity and quick accesses for the, yeah, for this sort of product, let's say. Another issue, I believe, if we have any medical students here, they would, I believe, they would understand it. Especially in the medical area, people are very anxious since it's related with their health. For them, it is quite like they're trying to be quite calm, but at the same time try to be more engaging and sensitive to their patient. And generally, the people, the patient would prefer those sort of doctors or the medical caregivers, let's say. So it is very important again to enhance the comfort, trust to treatments. And managers, lastly, this is the very important part, guys, for the leaders or managers. If you have a team, and if you don't really know your team characteristic, the people, the individual characteristic and personality, um, that might be for you is very difficult to manage the processes also. That might for you is also difficult how to approach to your employees, right? For negotiation process, for encouraging them, inspiring them. So that's why it is crucial for managers to know their, and for conflict resolution also, right? To know their employees' personality traits. Okay, we are approaching to our personal assessment now. For personality traits, we generally in research, we use type A. Companies use some of them as well. Like for example, the first one we're gonna do now. Some companies also apply them. Myers and Briggs, MBTI, 16 personality we call. Another one, Big Five personality model. And the last one, type A and B, but which is very limited because it is impossible to distinguish you in two sections. If I tell you you are A, if I tell Samar you are B, or Dara you are A, so it is, you know, it is not really good idea to just make it to categorization. But still it is useful to know them. Now let's see this sort of exercises. Before doing that, in a minute, we're going to do self-assessment, guys. Please be ready for that. But before doing that, let's know what are those four, in total 16 different type of personality tells us. So basically, at the end of your assessment, it will provide you some initial names of those traits. So what we have, extroverted versus introverted. We know that, right? Extroverted being more social, more open, and introverted being more reserved. Yeah, that's the best word for this. Both more like reserved you are. And we may say also quiet at the same time. Sensing, the second dimension is the sensing versus intuitive. Sensing, as you can understand from the name itself, it's sensor. What are our sensors? What are our sensors, guys?
Our eyes, our ears.
Like, yeah, all of them. Okay, thank you. Like 5 senses, right? So, exactly. Sensors. So, and according to this one, we were going to assess you. Either you are more sensing or intuitive. Because sensing, as we said, is more you observe through smelling, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, right? Sensing is more about this, your observation. However, intuitive one is more about unconsciously you are feeling it like intuitively. Okay, intuitively mean here relying on unconscious processes, but it may help you to see the big picture. So we don't put the intuition in the bin. Okay, we need our intuition. Okay, we need our mind, we need our heart. Yes, while we make decision, but we also need our intuition. Okay. Uh, Thinking versus feeling is the other dimension. So thinking is more like a logic, more like reasoning people, and feeling is more like go through with the emotions, like the personal values. Last one might surprise you, judging versus perceiving. I'm pretty sure, I'm not gonna show. I will ask you. The last dimension of Myers-Briggs is judging versus perceiving. If I tell you judging versus perceiving personality, how would you explain this personality? Yes, Omid.
So if it was me, I would say someone that is perceiving. So for example, if they get an information that doesn't necessarily click with their values, they'd be just observing the information and be like, okay, good, you're like that. Okay. But someone that is judging, if they get something that is not really like in the same frequency as them, they try to like they judge it. Like they either say it and like be like, you're wrong, or like that would be my opinion.
I understand. I understand, Omid. Thank you very much. Dara.
So at the first sight, it looks like this is the type how people are getting new information. For example, to order something, you need to judge it somehow by some criteria. So you're putting it into some kind of frame
Yeah.
to judge it and put it somewhere. When you're just perceiving, you're just looking at it, and it's like, yes, you're existing, and I'm not going to order you. So it's probably like I'm not gonna put any kind of order. I'm just accepting that it is somewhere. It's like the working deck on your computer, when everything is structured and everything is in a little bit chaos. Is for me, it's kind of like that.
Okay. Dara actually approached from a different perspective, and this is what I also try to mention at the same time. Uh, Previously, I was also knowing, thinking, by the way, like perceive versus judging. I was exactly saying, okay, judging people are more like, for example, our culture, all plus Middle Eastern culture. We are also Middle Eastern culture. We are quite judgy. Woohoo! We judge a lot. We make dedikodu, right? Like dedikodu gossip. So why through what we make gossip? Through judgment we make gossips. So according to people, what they wear, they wear this, so it may have even me. We make assumption through people. By the way, it can gives you clue. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying anything for that, but in some certain, I know some people they exactly make like a certain categorization for some of the people. If people wear this is that kind of person. If people do that, this is that kind of person. Like too much categorization, okay? But in this context here, judging versus perceiving, they explain it in a different way. As Mohammed just mentioned. Judging, yes, depends on how much you order, how much you're organized, how much you're structured. Perceiving is more like flexible and spontaneous, but still, you know what we can do? This is what I also believe. According to question, you're going to see at the same time. I think in the questions also they are trying to merge these two aspects together, like what Omid mentioned and what Dara and Mohammed mentioned, for example. I believe also they want us to merge them and think them together. Okay, but while somebody tells you judging, like from MBTI perspective, we should also assess ourselves, how much am I structured and organized? Or how much am I flexible and spontaneous? Okay, please consider these two at the same time. Now, I think we are ready for self-assessment. Yes, Dara.
I wanted to ask, are we going to use the site, 16 personalities, or we're going to do it somehow like in a different way?
Are we going to decide me? What? Decide?
No, I mean, yes, I wanted to ask, are we going to use the site, the website for
Ah,
that?
just here. This one.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Dara. Now I'm explaining actually. Guys, please listen to me carefully. This is important. As I told you, for every and each self-assessment, I want you to apply them. We do them during class. And I want you to take this result, take a screenshot of them. For example, for personality tests, I want you to include 3 screenshots from the web page and add it in your PPT, which you're going to present it at the end of the semester. Okay? So for personality, I want you to take the screenshot shows you, which it doesn't have to be screenshot, by the way. You can, of course, reorganize by yourself. The slide, I mean. But now you will need screenshot. So the one that shows your which initials you have, like INTP, INFJ, whatever. With this as adjective you have, like a debater, like protagonist, and etc. For you, okay. And lastly, I want to see the percentage of those 4 items. This item, look, this item. It will show you, because at the end of, you are not going to create by yourself. The web page itself, it will show you the percentage, like how 55% you're perceiving, for example. I want to see these percentages at the same time. Okay, you will take these 3 about personality. Lastly, please add your comment into it, because I want you to add your own reflection, and I want you to mention how much this result does reflecting you. It doesn't mean that it's 100% true, okay? But we're going to criticize it. Is it clear now?
Yes, thank you very much.
Please do them. Write on the chat box. I want to not write. Share when you're done. Share on the chat box. You have 15 minutes to complete. I'm here. The result, Ahmed. First, complete this. Do you see link here?
By the way, the test is super old and it's so nice to see it again, because I remember when I was taking it when I was 10, probably, or something like
Yes.
this.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's true, by the way. Let's see if there is any changes. entertainer. Apparently, I've seen like two commander, Mohammed Jamal and Lal. It seems like they are both. I think I saw two logistician as well, like Sayeda and one more logistician I capture. Yeah, like Omid, logician. Okay. Now, reflection time. Aishat came as well. She mentioned introvert, intuitive thinking, judging, assertive. We haven't discussed, by the way, we discussed the four dimension because the four dimension, remember, intuitive, sorry, extrovert, introvert, and we end up with judging and perceiving. But we haven't talked about the turbulence and the assertive one because that's dimension added lately. So assertive and turbulence. And I want to ask you now. Okay, Aishat is also architect. I think I've seen two more architect here. So now the question to you, guys. How does it? This question is also important for me. Okay, how does this result reflect you? How much you agree? How much you don't agree? Why, Sarah?
As I told before, I was getting this a few times a lot of years ago because my mom is an HR director and I had a
Okay.
very fun childhood at this point.
Yes, I
Uh,
understand. And how
and
was
I
it?
took I
Uh-huh.
took this test like a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 times during my like growing up journey, and I was getting a results as a servant kind of personality, and right now I'm getting a logician, I guess.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And it's kind of fun because I was feeling lost when I was getting servant, but now I'm getting logician, and I have a very, very similar life situations where I can see that I'm this kind of person.
Okay, good, good. Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, it's super accurate for me, for example, but it heavily depends on your honesty when you're getting a test. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dara. Thank you. And yes, Muhammad, Jamal.
Yeah, so basically, I'm a commander, as the website says. I agree with the statement because, like, 81% judging and 75% assertive, yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
I prefer that, for example, if I want to do something right, I want to do it myself. So that's my perspective of this rating. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. One more question, Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for judging versus perceiving, do you are you, for example, organized person or spontaneous?
I tend to be of a more organized,
Organized.
like
Uh-huh.
plans to do everything. Yeah.
Also, it's matching with the being commander also.
Yes.
Without
Exactly.
planning how you're gonna command them. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
planning, without having really organized, you must think about it and then command and give suggestion or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jamal, for your reflection. Omid.
Sure.
For me, it's actually interesting because I did took this test once before, and it actually told me I'm ENTP, but here it says I am INTP. So, well, the other time that I also took a test, it did told me that I'm 51% extroverted, 49% introverted. So it's very close. I could flip, I guess. Apparently, it could. I mean, as we talk, these things depend and can change and swing, right?
Yes. Yes.
So one
Yes.
thing that I have a question about is intuitive and observant. It actually told me that I'm intuitive, but me personally, I would think I'm observant because, well, especially social interactions, I'm quite blind to what other people are doing and feeling and everything. So I need things to be explained to me, and like you need to tell me in order for me to understand. And well, it does go back to my logical side, which I do not consider emotions. So my question is that what is this exactly telling me that I'm intuitive? Like, what is this about?
Wait, first, what is the percentage?
78% intuitive, actually.
Oh, okay. It's not like 50 something. Okay, okay. It's
Yeah, it is weird.
I mean, what exactly you mentioned, intuitive versus observant is also how we perceive. Like exactly here, the theory is actually sort of an approach. So it's as we already discussed, is more like an you said sensing, right? And intuitive sensing types, practical, prefer routine. Again, really focus on details. Intuitive rely on unconscious processes and look at the big picture. Okay, sensing not only is about sensor then, but it is related with sensor, I'm pretty sure. Sensing types are practical and prefer routine and order. Intuitive rely on conscious processes, look at the big picture. So, Amit, as you can see here, this sort of explanation, I believe also, yes, they have like this side of it, like what we have discussed previously. But plus, I think we should add more component here, just like here. Even though it's an unconscious processes intuitively, but it also says
Like, Hojam,
deep.
if we do go by this definition, I am intuitive. Like, if you do by the, the big picture and not going by routines and
Yes,
orders, yeah, I am intuitive.
yeah. So I believe according to we should stick on the explanation maybe, because otherwise we go apart. I think because this is
Yeah.
the guy Myers-Briggs who created this thing, so he must know better than me. I guess so. So I believe we should stick on that one.
So yeah, by
Yeah,
definition, it's
yeah,
correct.
I think so. Yeah. So you find it quite close then.
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any guys, any reflection, any criticism, anything you say, this is not somehow it is reflecting me this point, but somehow I don't believe I'm this like. Okay, you understand? Anybody says like this about this result, your own result I'm talking about. We have another commander, Ahora. Jamal. And I think Lal
Hello,
was also
Professor.
commander.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I'm at the airport now. I'm coming to Istanbul.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I
Okay,
couldn't
commander.
speak too much.
Okay, commander. Okay, tell them to follow you.
Sure.
Okay, have a good flight. So okay, I think we don't have anybody who's Aishat, please Aishat.
So okay, I think I agree with my result, but I'm an introvert, but I'm not quiet and shy. I just don't like interacting with people, but I'm not quiet and shy.
Okay, yes, I do agree
I
with
just
the explanation of the introversion, by the way. I do believe that it's not being shy. Like, yes, some people are introvert and shy, yes, but some people do not prefer to have this reaction. That's like a preferences. So I do agree with you, Aishat. And your result, you think
it's yeah, I think it basically explains what I am. Yes, I agree with it.
with the result. Oh, okay, good then.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Good. I'm happy. I'm happy to hear those. Uh, I mean, I didn't create this one, but at least if you're doing it, if it's showing the accuracy, I will be more happy, of course. Okay. I think most of you have done the results. Lastly, we had, yeah, okay, we had Yana here. Okay, now I've seen it. Okay, guys, I think you understand about what you need to do about this result, that you have to take it into your presentation. Now, we will have another thing. Big five personality. let's first, because I want to do practice. Okay. I want to do another practice this time. Even though I will open TED Talk, but this time this TED Talk, I'm not going to open it and leave you to watch it. What we do, because this TED Talk includes this guys asking to the audience the question, then we will do the same exercise in our classes. So I'm going to open the TED Talks now. Then I will stop it and I will come back to you. We continue. Again, I will stop it and then we do. Okay? So don't leave the TED Talk. Anybody can just copy this. I think I just, okay, just did it. Control J. It is very, I find it interesting. Hopefully you will also find it interesting. The guy. Okay. Aishat, you say something? No, you forgot to, okay. So now guys, let me share my screen.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
You hear it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now we start. Please listen carefully.
Thank you, Amanda, for that flight that we had and the authentic conversation. I'm here to talk with you about the brain science of communication as it relates to business on fire, igniting your business for growth, igniting you in what you do in your business. What I want you to
Why does it show two different language? Okay, it shows both.
think about for a minute is, what does it take to do that? What will it take you to ignite your business? And to me, it's the science of communication, but really it's the science of self-awareness. How aware are you of what you're capable of doing? How well do you know yourself? How well do you know other people? It's about what you pay attention to. So what I want you to think about just for a second is a question you've answered 1,000,000 times in your life. Who are you? In business, you probably talk about your role. Oh, I'm a painter, I'm a consultant, I'm a fireman, right? You might talk about a personal role, father, mother, sister. I'd like you to answer it a little bit differently, and to help you, I'll answer it a little bit differently. I'd like to answer it, if I can, with an alliterative adjective. A what? Alliterative adjective is just an adjective that starts with the same sound as your first name. My name is Scott. My adjective would be smiling. Smiling Scott. It could be standing Scott. It could be speaking Scott.
Okay, now the question. What is your alliterative adjective? Did you catch? Are you thinking?
You might be frustrated.
Guys, are you there?
Yes. I'm thinking.
Okay, good. Think about your alliterative adjective. The one who haven't maybe catch. Okay, good. Like this. Overthinker, omit. Okay. Starting with your initial name and try to find the adjective which describes you, like at least tells something about you. Okay, Dairak Dara. Let me also think. Kind Kristen. Indecisive effect. Judgmental. Okay, Jamal. Okay. Ali. Ali. Your name initial is A. So you should provide some adjective which start with A. Parsa, radical. Parsa again. How come? It should start with P. Like practical parsa. Can I say practical parsa? For Ali, agile Ali. Is it reflecting you, Ali? For example. Or I don't know if you like asking question, asking Ali. Or we may use attractive if you want. Agreeable. Another word could be. Authentic. I like this. Authentic, Aishat. Yeah, authentic. Anybody starting with E, for example. Enthusiast. Samar, sleepy. Did you write it? Just because you said I'm sleepy. Sleepy Samar. Okay, Robert, random. Random. Regina, did you find any? Yelling. What else could be? Yeah. Yawning, really? Okay. Yawning. Yelling. Yielding. Yawning. None of them me. Okay. Let me continue that. We go back to our video.
Frustrated Frank, tired Tom, or because of the time, hungry Henrietta. Whatever it is, I'd like you to come up with it quickly and share it with people on your right and left. A one-word adjective that starts with the same sound as your first name and describes you right now. Come up with it quickly and share it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Herkesin
Aa,
aldığı yeşil kazanmışsın.
Ama hocam yeni moda.
Bak modası geçer.
Okay. If you didn't come up with it, you can still work on it and come up with it over lunch and those authentic conversations that you have. But the reason I asked you to do it is it's probably something you didn't do yesterday or last week or last month. It's not a way that you typically answer the question, which means you had to think about it. You actually had to use your conscious brain to come alive, come aware, and come up with something new versus just a traditional or a typical answer that you gave. But what it leans into is, who do you think you really are? It's about self-perception. How well do you know yourself? And how well do you come across to other people? And is it the same? I want you to think about when you first became aware, self-aware this morning. Probably for many of you looking in the mirror, brushing your teeth, you started to think about, who am I and how am I going to show up today? Who am I going to be today? As I interact with other people, I wonder what impact I'll have on them. Take a look at my slide, however. Sometimes we look in the mirror and the image we see of ourselves is not what the rest of the world sees. If I were to ask you again, in terms of just self-awareness, do you identify more with the kitten in this image, or do you identify more with the lion in this image? Where's my kittens in the group? Let me see. You just identify more with the kitten. Where's my lions in the group? Wow, look at the difference, okay? How do kittens vote? Yeah, right? No one wants to be the first or only kitten. Isn't that funny? Lions are right there. It's a difference in personality. What I want you to start to pay attention to is what are those unique differences in terms of personality for you? What's this word, by the way? Not really everyone. What's this word? Silk. What does a cow drink? Milk. So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. There's two parts of our brain, and my job is to slice yours in half today and help you realize that a big part of communication is driven by your subconscious. It's the part of your brain that loves to give you answers. It just gave you the answer. Answer, wasn't it? That's what your subconscious brain does frequently when you interact with other people. It makes assumptions and they're wrong and you roll with it. What I want you to do instead, like you just thought about the alliterative adjective, is I want you to turn your brains on. I want you to be conscious of yourself, more conscious of who you are and the impact you're having on other people, right? Focus on awareness. Who are you really? How do you really show up and interact with other people? And it's got to start with knowing yourselves and then knowing the other person. Once you know who you are and how you're wired, you need to be consciously aware of what Carl Jung called the otherness of the other. Because if you're not, until you make the unconscious and call it fate. Every one of us has millions of patterns in our subconscious brain that determine how we interact with other people. And if we don't challenge them through consciousness, stuff just happens to us. And we think it just happens over and over again and it's fate. We don't have control of it, but you do have control. Your conscious brain gives you the ability to change your outcomes based on changing patterns in your subconscious brain. How do we do that? We have a new thought. We have a new idea. We authentically steal ideas and pull them together. It's as Reese said, it's in your toolkit right now. You have the ability to have a new thought at any time about anything in your life you'd like to be different, and switching your brain on and having that thought creates a new pattern for you to hang on to. But it starts with knowing you and knowing others. So how have we done that over the years? How have people done that? Heraclitus came up with a model 2,500 years ago. It was very actively practiced, right, in actually modern medicine at the time. But for over 2,000 years, we tried to define people by type, by category. It's a way of knowing yourself, and it's a framework. So what we're talking about here is with this conscious awareness, having a framework with which you know yourself, how you show up, and who you are, so that you can communicate and relate to others. That's what it's for. That's the power of it. So that's one model. There's so many others in the world, especially in terms of business and igniting your business or lighting a business on fire, helping people be more self-aware. How many of you have been through some of the models that are listed here? Millions and millions of people, most of you as well. The power of these models is helping you figure out, who am I? How am I wired? How do I communicate? Because that's how I judge everybody else in my world. If I'm 7 feet tall, you're all short. I walk into work every day and wonder why I work with so many short people, right? It's not about you being broken. It's about me needing a higher level of self-awareness. So how do I come up with that? Well, I want to share a model with you, one of many that are available in the world. And I'd just like you to think about it for a minute to help you categorize, how are you wired? What's that unique natural personality that you bring? Think about if it's more fiery red. You're determined, competitive, demanding. You love to get things done and you're task-oriented. You're always in go, go, go mode. Is that you? Does that resonate well? You're always about getting things done. My wife leads with high fiery red. For 27 years, when I'm driving the car and the light turns green, she says, go. Every single time. Go, turn left, turn right, go, go, go. That's high fiery red. You're all about getting stuff done. The shortcut is do it now. How about sunshine yellow? Does that resonate better with you? Energy, enthusiasm, karaoke night, happy hour, life of the party, right? If it's you, you're laughing out loud because you're seeing it in yourself. For all of you, in fact, right now, think about somebody you work with that's always telling you what they're doing, what they did the night before, what they had for lunch, what they're going to do in the afternoon, what they're going to do the next day, on and on and on. Think of someone specific. If you can't think of anybody, it's you. Okay? That's sunshine yellow energy. It's energy. It's enthusiasm. Try and make a decision for yourself right now. Are you more focused on red energy task, getting stuff done? Or do you tend to focus more on that yellow energy, all about people and relationships? Both are extroverted energies. Both are noisy and talk to think. Let me talk to the other two for a minute. and actually try and calm down and slow down a little bit, right? To sort of talk in that preferred style. Some of you lead with earth green. You're amiable, patient, caring, relaxed. You're brilliant listeners. You listen to see where someone's going to take you without the need to interrupt in a fiery red way and get something done, or maybe the need to interrupt in a sunshine yellow way and make the story about you. The gift of brilliant listening for what's said and even what isn't said falls within that introverted feeling, amiable, caring, earth green. And the last one is introverted thinking, cool blue, analytical, cautious, precise. You want me to prove these concepts to you. You'd like to read more about them. You like to study, you like to analyze, and you like to go deeper.
Look, there's a huge difference between someone who cares about you and someone who's actually trained to help.
Think for a minute which one of these is more like you, and just share it with people on your right and left quickly. Which one do you think you lead with? Go ahead and tell them.
Okay, now let's get back to you. Again, I'm going to open this.
Think.
Now I'm going to ask you, you can raise your hand simply. How many of you think you are fairy rat? Do you want me to remind you? No, right? Clear? Fairy rat. How many of you are fairy rat? Go, go, go person. To do like a task person. Like at the same time they categorize under extroverted people also, but determine very a bit can be aggressive at the same time. We haven't seen the bad part. We just see the good parts. Okay, so 4 of you are a fairy rat. Aishat also. Lal also. Okay, we have 6 fairy rat. You can put your hands down now. Thank you. Okay, how many of you is yellow sunshine? Let me show again. Sunshine yellow. Sociable, dynamic, demonstrative, enthusiastic, persuasive. Omit. Who else? Sunshine yellow. We only have one sunshine in the room. Okay, yours is dash blue. Okay, Omid. Okay, except Omid.
No, hocam, I mean, like, I am yellow most of the time, but you
I
know,
understand.
with a little bit of a blue, like a sprinkled in.
Yeah, I feel your sunshine. Okay, then you're yellow, Omid. Then let me ask again. How many of you think you are green? Caring, encouraging, sharing, patient, relax, good listener. Oh, nice. Kristen, Meryem, İpek, Ahmet, Yegane. 5. Nice. I became calm now. And lastly, how many of you think you are blue? Jamal. Okay. Hamra. 2. Robert. Okay, they have 3 blues then. Thank you very much, guys. Now let's go back.
Think for a minute which one of these is more like you, and just share it with people on your right and left quickly. Which one do you think you lead with? Go ahead and tell them. Let me illustrate a point for you. because it speaks to the whole point that I'm trying to make, which is about awareness, about being conscious. Realize that if you lead with sunshine yellow, you quickly told everybody you could get to, right? With energy and with enthusiasm, and you're sad that I cut you off already. If you lead with red, you turned to someone and said, red. Why? Because it's like, now what? Let's get something done. Now I know this, let's get something done. If you lead with earth green, you are probably a little bit slower and more cautious to lean to the right or to the left, to invite, the person to share in this information with you. If you lead with blue, you're not sure yet if that's the right answer because you want more time to think and be structured and be logical. But my point about communication is we need to know this about ourselves. We need to be self-aware because here's a risk. Here's a risk. What if you overuse these gifts of communications energies? What does it look like if you overuse them? My wife believes that she's determined, strong-willed, and purposeful when she tells me how to drive the car. I believe she's overusing that gift of red energy, and take a look. I believe she's aggressive, controlling, overbearing, and intolerant. It's my perception of the overuse of that energy. You can overuse all these energies, overuse that wonderful, caring earth green, and you're docile, bland, plodding, reliant, and stubborn. Bad green, we call it. In fact, we like to say, hell hath no fury, like earth green energy scorned. Some of you who lead with that earth green, you recognize that, right? Overusing your cool blue, thinking too much about something and not wanting to commit to action. Analysis paralysis, it's also a risk. And of course, even sunshine yellow can be taken too far and moved to excitable, frantic, indiscreet, flamboyant, hasty, out of control. So the challenge here in terms of being self-aware is how do you know when you're using the gift of your personality up to the right level? And do you actually know when you've gone too far? What you may not realize is if you are interacting with someone who leads with your opposite energy, unfortunately, they tend to see you on this slide. Think about that for a minute. Your opposite energy, your opposite personality tends to perceive you in the negative and you don't even realize it's happening because you're actually in the middle of having your best day. It's why communication gets complicated. Oh no, that's not funny. Here's the funny part. If you've put yourself in one of these quadrants, put your spouse in another one. How many of you think you married your opposite type? Oh my gosh, what were you thinking? Opposites actually attract, they do. We're drawn to somebody who's very different than we are. We come together, it feels very whole and very complete, and we marry them and then we want to kill them for 40 years because they do everything differently than we do. I want you to think about that spouse when you go home tonight. Think about the energy that they lead with and treat them that way. Treat them the way that their energy might suggest. If you think they lead with earth green, give them a hug for a little longer than normal. If they lead with fiery red, go home and offer to do a job. If they lead with sunshine yellow, invite them to happy hour or go out with friends and have some fun. And if they lead with cool blue, send them a text or an email and invite them to do password or Sudoku at home tonight, right? Meet their energy where it is. Think about where you are in the model. Think about energies that you lead with. Think about your family and your children. This is my family. My wife, I said, leads with fiery red. My youngest daughter, absolute fiery red, loves to focus and get things done. I lead with yellow, so does my oldest daughter. Look at her hat. Energy, enthusiasm, right? Mine appear disorganized. That's the risk of too much sunshine yellow. And look at my son. It's hard to see, but look closely. When we had this little exercise 10 years ago, he said quietly, "Can I wear more than one hat?" Then my wife with high fiery red said, "What?" "No, pick a hat." And maybe in a moment we became aware and said, "Connor, wear as many hats as you want." Look closely. He said, "I'm green, but I'm more blue." And he actually put 2 hats on.
Gerçek indirimler için sen de Amazon'a bak. Son gün 28 Kasım.
That's the uniqueness of personality. It's the way we gather information and the way we make decisions and how we show up in most everything we do. So be aware, right? The psychology underneath it is extroverts, introverts, thinking and feeling. The same psychology, Jungian psychology, that underpins Myers-Briggs or MBTI. All right, just a brilliant tool or tools and psychology that helps you access who you are, how you're wired, and what makes you tick. It's about being aware that this exists so that you can be aware of it in other people. I'll let you read this slide because this is going to happen as soon as we go to lunch. You're going to look at each other and you're going to see behaviors. Just read it for yourselves. I know it's crazy, right? But it's true. You do one of these things, don't you? And one of these things that other people does makes you crazy. They're probably your opposite type. Isn't it funny how we do it? I should probably have one more up there for the person who leans in, pretending to hit the open door button, but really hits the closed door. Maybe that's bad red. I don't know. The point behind what I'm saying is think about how you're wired and how you show up. In terms of igniting your business and having more success in that area, how might you contribute? Whatever role that you play. It's a function of your personality and where you fit in our model. And if you really want to kind of expand that impact, right, then think about in terms of leading others. How can you have a greater impact? Because there's a natural within models like this. You're naturally good at some things and you start with other things. Be aware. Be focused. Know yourself. Know yourself. Know other people. Pay attention to other people as you interact with them for the purpose of understanding who they are and how to take action so that you can move forward. But recognize that when you're having trouble with someone else, here's a quote from Jung again: everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a deeper understanding in ourselves. You've kind of heard that theme in some of the other speakers. If you're irritated by something someone else is doing, pause and reflect on why. All right, ask the question like Reese was saying, why? Why is this happening? What's going on? Because very likely it's more about you than about someone else. So in wrapping up for you, pay attention. Be aware. Use your conscious brain to see who people really are. If you wonder what it feels like, pay attention to your blinking right now for just a second. Notice you're blinking? You're doing it. You're self-aware. It's that easy. Now, tomorrow morning when you're brushing your teeth and looking in the mirror, I hope you have a little moment of self-awareness again. I don't want you to think of me, but think about blinking. Look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm aware. I'm going to go be aware of everybody that I meet today. That's the plan. Focus on others. Know your unique personality style. Use whatever model helps you make sense of you in relationship to others, but notice the otherness of the other. Everyone in here is unique from everyone else. Everyone brings a gift. Everyone brings a unique personality, and they're dying for you to notice it. Just like you are dying to be communicated with in your preferred style, so is everybody else. Give them that gift, take action, and make a difference. Thank you very much.
Okay. What does it say? Did you capture any keyword?
Yes, it was pretty clear.
Any keywords that you mentioned? I mean, that you capture.
Self-awareness.
Okay. Yes, Ahmed, said something. Others of what? Self-awareness? You mean awareing of the others plus self-awareness, right, Ahmed? Okay. Observe. Okay, being aware of others. Okay, clear. So I will lastly check what we were talking about. Personality here is why it didn't open. Guys, I'm not gonna give a break because I will finish early. I need to finish early, I mean. Skills and personality. This one. Can you see it? No, right? I can't open. Interesting. Very interesting. It's not working. Allah Allah. Okay, just give me a second, please. I know without giving a break, it must be tough for you to concentrate, but I will keep it. Just give me like to summarize, okay? Let me do like this. Use your last focus today. Then weekend will start. You can enjoy it. Okay. Now here, what do we have? This one. Sorry. Now. So remember, we were talking about three main approaches to personality. One was the Myers-Briggs. Another two is this one, the 5 big personality model, which is also extensively used. And the last one is the A and B theory we call. We will just simply see what's A and B and what is the big 5 model personalities. Okay, and I think then, okay. So this is actually very similar to Myers-Briggs one, especially the first one, if you see that, extraversion, but the dimension are not the same as the Briggs and Myers, okay? Myers and Briggs. So extroversion is exactly the same here, the sociable, gracious, assertive. This type of personality also has its own survey, by the way, but for this class, I think Myers and Briggs is more comprehensive. That's why I don't need you to include this one, but you can simply see what this it says. Agreeableness. So this is actually a very big discussion aspect about the personality type, because agreeableness, as you can understand, is the more cooperative people. People are more prone to say, yes, let's do it. People are, it's good in working places, the one that is, of course, being cooperative, collaborative. But if it's become too much, then it can really affect the even environment in the workplace, because we also need criticization. Remember, in one of our class, we talk about strong culture, right? So in strong culture, I remember Ovid mentioned, I said that what is the being what is the pros, sorry, cons, negative side of being having a strong culture? Then Omid also mentioned, because since everybody thinks in the same way, act in the same way, then who is going to see the differences? Who is going to criticize? Who is going to provide some suggestion for that? So, but in general, in overall agreeableness, in some certain level of agreeableness, what the company wants, okay? But of course, it is important to be also skeptical at the same time. Another one is the third dimension, is the conscientiousness. That's a very difficult word to pronounce. This is more like a responsible, dependable, more like an organized. So of course, in the working place, especially the manager, want to see someone who is well organized, plan, know what to do, when to do. Of course, it's easier to manage for them also. So emotional stability, that's another discussion aspect, by the way, because, for example, when I was studying a business like many years ago, more than 10 years ago, there was a discussion about, should we show our emotion in the professional life, or we should hide it? So, and in general, the opinion was more. There was a more consensus about the providing opinion. You should not show your emotion. Even if you are very sad, you shouldn't show it. Okay. Here now, it started to change a bit, I have to say. I'm not saying that if you want to cry, cry immediately. I'm not saying that if you want to, but it is also important to be aware about what we are also feeling it, okay? Maybe not excessively, but in somehow you should have some not dependency, freedom. You should have some dependency also to having this showing this emotion. So the companies, of course, they prefer people to be more stable. So that's what we say. Let's say stable. Okay, maybe not too much, not too down, but try to stabilize your emotion at the same time. Like calm. So also nervous, for example, in the working place, being nervous is really perceived as a bad thing in the working life. Openness to experience, the last one, the curious, artistic, sensitive, because those people will be more creative at the end of it. So it will provide the value for the companies. Here, I explain them actually. So here, look what it says. Extroverts tend to be assertive, introverts tend to be reserved, timid, quiet, but we already said that it doesn't have to be timid. Agreeableness here, people who score low on agreeableness are cold, disagreeable, and antagonist people. And conscientiousness, these are more like responsible, organized, dependable. Who have low score is easily distracted, disorganized, unreliable. Okay, so these three aspects actually very important for companies, right? Disorganized. It's not really perceived as good components dimension. Okay. Emotional stability, as I already mentioned, showing too much anger, showing too much depression is not really perceived well. But what I was trying to say about emotional stability, yeah, balance is good, but it doesn't mean that you should always like press your emotion. Openness to experience, as I again explained, being curious, sensitive, and creative. Why it doesn't work? Okay. Aha, this is a chart that simply summarizes the 5 dimension. So the one who has a low score, extroversion, is more like loner, passive, reserved, agreeableness, suspicious, critical, ruthless, irritable. This conscientiousness is more like lazy, late, disorganized. And neuroticism, if you have no neuroticism, which means you are more like calm. This is about emotional stability, by the way. They use in the same dimension. Uncomfortable, unemotional. So that's why we need to find the balance. You see on the other side, worried, self-conscious, emotional. So in between. Openness to experience. If it's low score, it is very conventional, uncurious, uncreative. So the company doesn't really want those sort of skills. Why it is relevant, what does it affect? So this is as I told you, this the 5 dimension traits, personality trait is really discussed in the working place and also in the scientific era. Emotional stability, why it is relevant is less negative thinking and fewer negative emotion, less hypervigilant. We already explained that. So why does it affect? Because it affects mainly your higher job life satisfaction and lower stress level. So extroversion affecting again. Okay, I know that. I know that we're going to come across this. Higher performance. I told you before, being extroverted doesn't mean it will be higher performance. In some certain job, it is considered as a higher performance, but in some job, it's not really considered as a higher. I told you if you remember, but for selling the marketer, so those being extroverted is more, for example, desirable. But if you like if, for example, for engineer, especially if you always need to, not all engineer, by the way, software, let's say, computer, if you're always aligning with the computer, if you don't need to do a lot of teamwork, if you do your work alone, and it's mostly like they even consider introverted more like not preferable, but yeah, they say yes, let's say more preferable actually. And of course, openness is connected with the training performance. Because if you're open, so they can teach you more, right? More adaptable to change also. Agreeableness, again, is considered as a higher performance. But again, they put this star on it because of the same reason I already explained. And conscientiousness, higher performance, enhanced leadership, and greater longevity. Yeah, conscientiousness, I think here there's no objection about this, because being conscientious actually is a very good trait. So I don't think there is a negative part of being conscientiousness, having conscientiousness. Okay. Research has shown this to be a better framework. This is what I just said. Okay, I'm not going to repeat myself. Types A and B, we can do this one, by the way, type and B test. Actually, how many minutes we have? That's a very short survey, guys. We still have 10-15 minutes. No, I will stop. I'm not going to continue. This one. But what I just think, we can try this one. Because this test, this is the interesting one. As I told you, type A and B, we don't really prefer because it's only two categories. However, this is introduced by cardiologists. That's impressive. And during their research, they find the connection between personality types and the risk of developing coronary heart disease. If you are type A people, the result says you have more of a risk of developing coronary heart disease. If you have type B people, you have less. Do you want to see on yours? I'm opening now. Very short survey, by the way. Oh, really? I think